For the $25 million endowment from the Australian Government in 2006, the American-Australian Association, in partnership with the University of Sydney, established the United States Studies Centre.
Remember that figure, $25 million of Australian taxpayer money.
Through teaching, research and public outreach, the Centre has led the way to increasing awareness and understanding about the United States in Australia. With more than 1,000 university students enrolled in our unique courses, our faculty and visiting experts provide insight into American politics and policy, culture and society, and economics and business. Through our study abroad programs, we offer hundreds of Australian students an unrivaled opportunity to study, live and work in Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles.
Now, I have no problem in principle with the establishment of such a centre. I think it's great that Australian students have the opportunity to learn about, to live and work in the United States. But whose conception of the US are they getting? Let's rewind a bit.
Through teaching, research and public outreach, the Centre has led the way to increasing awareness and understanding about the United States in Australia.
So the claim is that the United States Studies Centre has led the way to increasing awareness and understanding about the United States in Australia. Well, let's see how their team of 30 academics and experts did with respect to increasing awareness and understanding of the 2016 presidential election. Now, all these stories came from the experts at the USSC during October, and a couple of names keep popping up with regularity. Take Michelle Hammer, expert on media and politics in America. Here she is on the ABC on October 15th.
Let's get more analysis on the presidential campaign. We're joined by Dr. Nicole Hammer, Assistant Professor at the University of Virginia and columnist with The Age newspaper. She's also written extensively on the history of conservative media in the United States. Nicole Hammer, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now, the polls are telling us that Donald Trump can't win from this point. So what's his strategy?
Well, it seems like his strategy right now is to take as many people out with him as possible on his way down. He seems to have gone into full destruction mode, which is basically what we've been seeing for the last week. Now, this could, I guess, turn things around, but I don't really see a path for that. So far, women and independents have been fleeing his campaign over the last week, and it's hard to see how he wins any of those people back, especially as he doubles down on attacking the people who are accusing him.
And subsequent to that interview, here are more of her expert opinions. But Michelle is just a historian, really, so why don't we look at someone with specific expertise in US elections, like Brendan O'Connor. What was his expert opinion? Take the top story. Donald Trump can't win this election. Associate Professor in American Politics at the United States Studies Centre at the University of Sydney, Brendan O'Connor said there was no way Trump could come back from any of this. This is different from everything else, he said. This pattern of misogyny that Trump is now associated with will change voters' behaviour. Assistant Professor O'Connor said the New York Times investigation, in which two women claimed Trump touched them inappropriately, was well corroborated and was more than just the media playing an unfair game. He also said the leaking of the 2005 tape was pivotal as it gave the women who made the claims the confidence that they might too be believed. The likelihood is stories like this will just keep coming, he said. Trump's claim that the women are lying will only result in more people coming forward. There's no reason for this story to die down. The tape made a huge difference. Having something on tape is very different to just an accusation. Assistant Professor O'Connor said Clinton's clear lead in the polls was heading towards a landslide. What would we do without the experts? But I know what you're thinking. You're just cherry-picking the worst cases. Am I? Here's the antidote to ideological conformity himself, Mark Latham, questioning the head of the USCC, Simon Jackman, just after the election result.
Well, Simon, you said there the polling industry blew it. The evidence suggests the media blew it. I'd put to you the US Confusion Centre has blown it as well. You've got 30 academics down there, the vast majority anti-Trump, pretty well campaigning as partisans. Shouldn't we get from our publicly funded academics some objectivity and proper analysis of what's going in the United States? Are you embarrassed and feeling humiliated that your organisation has completely missed the Trump phenomenon and is really looking as bad as any of the media or polling outfits?
No, I'm not. We're in pretty good company. We've got a very balanced lineup at the study centre. You know, we've got Tom Schweitzer on our panel of academics.
He wasn't pro-Trump. Can you name anyone who was pro-Trump?
At my place? No, I can't actually. No.
You can't. Well, what does that say about you? You're totally slandered in a political campaign against the bloke who's become the President of the United States, which you purport to study and be expert on. It's an embarrassment to you. To have you in the Sydney University doing this is a disgrace. The people who funded you have completely wasted their money, and you've got people like David Smith on this program earlier on saying that the Trump victory is for white nationalists taking over a superpower. It's just embarrassing to this level of ridiculous analysis.
Well, I didn't hear David say that.
Well, he's a disgrace. He's deplorable. Well, we've got a good mix at the centre, I think.
Yeah, you've got a good mix. A good mix of people that all subscribe to the same set of beliefs. Now, Jackman tried to throw out Tom Schweitzer as providing balance. Schweitzer's supposed to be a conservative voice, although as Gerard Henderson noted in the Weekend Australian, he's certainly no traditional conservative like John Howard or Tony Abbott. And it's not important that he is a traditional conservative. But what is important is that he seems to have been captured by the same narrative as his colleagues. Here he is on Seven's Sunrise program just before the election.
Is there anything that we can take out of this election and just how brutal it has been in Australian politics?
It's a very good question. I don't think we're there yet. I think, if anything, it's more analogous to what's happening in many parts of Europe. You see, Trump is a rude, crude, lewd buffoon. He's divisive, he's erratic, and he upsets the sensibilities of so many people. But there are many Donald Trump figures emerging all across Europe. Yeah. There's a real backlash against the political elites in these countries. There's a backlash against globalisation, free markets, illegal immigration, Muslim immigration. And I think the decline of the mainstream media in many of these countries means that the populist media, the social media, talkback radio, they allow folks like Donald Trump and Marine Le Pen to propose, frankly, kindergarten solutions to fantastically complicated problems. So I think we need to see Trump in a broader international context.
Well, and that's kind of the shame of Trump, isn't it? I mean, there's a class of people there that deserve proper representation with sophisticated, approaches to their problems, and he's not giving it to them.
Well, make no mistake, Andrew, he is tapping into real grievances, but unfortunately he lacks discipline and basic decency, and that's why he will lose on November 8. This is a change election year. Hillary Clinton should be losing this election, but she'll win largely because of the incompetence and lack of discipline of her opponent.
Indeed.
All right, Tom.
Tom, always good to speak to you.
Great.
Now, Tom Schweitzer's a smart guy, and it's no sin to get a prediction wrong. Plenty of us got this election result wrong. But the important point is not about being wrong. It's about creating an echo chamber and then pretending that you're providing objectivity from a balanced array of so-called experts. The Australian taxpayers forked out $25 million for the American Confusion Centre. And what did we get in return? Not a diverse range of opinions, not robust political debate, but ideological conformity. It's about time we ask for our money back.